this was kind of like the most major decision I've made for myself. So to see all the results coming and how it's going, I'm in a bliss. I'm in such a peaceful state that I'm just like, can nobody tilt my crown. Welcome back to Naya's News. This is the channel where I report news about my life while being open, honest, and transparent as much as possible. Before I get started on today's video, peep the hair. I know y'all saw the transformation in last video, but I didn't get to talk to y'all about it. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling it? I was looking gorgeous. This is not sponsored. This is the Dark and Lovely Honey Blonde. Shout out to my stylist, Natalie. You hooked the sister up. Look at my fro. Peep the hydration, peep the curls. And then look at my nails. You know nails always on fleek. And look at my eyeshadow. I look gorgeous, right, y'all? Just want to give y'all fever for the beginning of this video. Okay, but before I get started on today's video, as I always say, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you never miss an upload. Okay, let's get started. So as you guys see by today's title, I'm going to be talking about my pre-op experience from my VSG. And for those of you who do not know, VSG stands for vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I'll insert it here so you guys can take a look. And this is just my personal experience of how my pre-op experience went based off of the knowledge from my surgeon, my doctor, and their medical staff of what I should be doing during my pre-op experience. This video is going to be talking about the shakes, the nasty broths I had to do, the liquids, all of that stuff. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my favorites and some things that you don't have to buy based on my experience. So in my pre-op experience, I had to do it for 2 weeks. I started it April 13th and my surgery was April 27th. Let me just say, this surgery ain't for the weak. Like, you literally, let me just say, I literally turned into like a hermit frog because I couldn't eat solids for 2 weeks. And you go all your life eating solids and eating the things that you usually eat to basically stopping cold turkey. And you have to rely on liquids to sustain your energy, make sure you're feeling good and all that stuff. So I was, let me just say, aggy like the first 3 days, but then after that I was like good on like day 4 all the way up until my surgery. So some of the protein shakes that I got were the Premier protein. This is the strawberries and cream protein, and then I also got the Premier protein vanilla. My favorite, and I don't have, ran out. I'm actually going out this weekend to buy some. My favorite protein shake was the Fairlife strawberry. I'll insert a picture here. If you love strawberry milk, you're going to love Fairlife. Like, it was so good. It literally tastes like milk, essentially. And it didn't have that chalky kind of cakey taste. Amazing. And I love strawberries. So that's another thing. I love strawberries. So I tended, with this diet, I wanted to buy shakes where I naturally like the flavor. I like vanilla. I like strawberry. And there's another shake that I had was peaches and cream of Premier as well. I love that. So I went with the fruits that I kind of already liked. So I didn't go with like a, what's the other flavors there? Like a salted caramel. Not really a fan. So I didn't buy that. I stuck with the shakes and the flavors that I like. Out of these 4, like the strawberry and cream, the vanilla, the Fairlife, and then the peaches and cream, Fairlife was my favorite of all faves. And then I like the peaches and cream of Premier, and then this was my 3rd, and this was my 4th. The vanilla is good. I just found that, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like cake batter. Like, you ever in the process of making a cake and just take a little taste of it before you like put it in the oven? That's what literally it reminds me of. And it leaves like a chalky taste, but it's still good. It's 30 grams of protein. So my pre-op diet, I had to do it for 2 weeks, and I had to do 3 protein shakes a day, of course unlimited liquids, and that was water. I had Crystal Lights and everything like that. So I was fine when it came to that experience, but when it came to drinking my shakes, this protein shake was a little challenging to get down because of the taste. It does taste vanilla, but it also reminds me of cake batter. During my pre-op experience, it was for 2 weeks, as I said. It was literally like a whole mental thing for me because I started on the 13th. So I want to say that Wednesday up until that Friday, Saturday, you didn't want to be around me because I was just so tense because I'm like, it's almost, I don't want to say you're starving yourself, but you're literally refraining from eating solids. Like, I never realized how much solid food I eat when it comes to chicken, when it comes to rice, pasta, spaghetti, all of that stuff. When you realize, wait, I can't eat that. I literally have to drink shakes as my meal. And don't get me wrong, it does fill you. Like, no lie, it really does fill you. Like, I did find that I wasn't hungry. If anything, for me, it was more of a mental thing that I couldn't have chicken. I couldn't have pasta. And for anyone that knows me, I love Italian food. I couldn't have pasta. I couldn't have chicken. I couldn't have rice. And for some reason, during those 2 weeks, my mother wanted to throw down in the kitchen.
Ouch, wait.
And I'm just like, okay, are you trying to be funny? Because I can't eat this stuff, so you fixing all this food and I can't eat it. But it's cool. It's cool, no hard feelings. It's all right. So for my pre-op experience, I literally had to cut off food in terms of solids. I had to stick to shakes, and I ended up also, because of this, I ended up celebrating my birthday the beginning of April because my surgery was 2 days before my birthday, so I couldn't eat, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to celebrate. So me and my friends ended up going out the beginning of April to celebrate my birthday, to do like an early celebration, which I had so much fun. But after that, I was just like, what the hell? Because I was just like, I can't eat. What's going on with me? I had to eat puddings, and I'm just like, that is not good. It's disgusting. What's going on with me? But overall, my pre-op experience was amazing compared to the other stories that I've heard from people in like my Facebook group and different things that my surgeon has shared with me. Out of this whole experience, I genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely appreciate my friends and my family. They've made this process so smooth for me and peaceful. That was the #1 thing I was really focused on, was being peaceful throughout this whole process, because I knew, although it was non-invasive and it wasn't, they were doing any major cutting, it was still surgery at the end of the day. And I wanted to create an environment for myself where I was at peace. I had nothing but positive energy around me. My surgeon even played like this playlist that I came up with, and until I went to sleep from the anesthesia from my surgery, I'll get into that in a separate video. But that goes to show I was really focused on creating a peaceful environment. So with my pre-op experience, it was literally just that. Since then, since having the surgery, I never realized how supportive the bariatric community was. Like, I never even thought about this because I never considered surgery up until I started to do the process and more thinking about it even further last year. Up until then, I was just like, what is this? But now being involved in this community and meeting different people, I even exchanged personal contacts with certain people and building relationships that I'm just like, this community is so supportive, which is why I'm comfortable sharing my story with you guys, because I think I want to just give back to the community that gave back to me, because it was so just inviting and warm and supportive. So overall, my pre-op experience has been extremely peaceful for me. And another thing I wanted to mention outside of the shakes, drinking water is was like key. I naturally drink 3 to 4 bottles. Before surgery, I naturally drank like 3 to 4 bottles a day and never really kept count. But during my pre-op, I was making sure I was hydrated, because you're not getting the energy that you're getting because you're eating solids, excuse me. So when you're going through that, you kind of feel fatigued, you're tired, drowsy a little bit, and drinking water definitely fueled me, making sure I was hydrated, making sure I was up to par when it came to my energy. I wasn't drowsy, I wasn't sleepy, none of that. So drinking water definitely is another tip that I would say make sure you do. And for this surgery, one thing I also wanted to mention was setting a timer on my phone was extremely helpful, because my job, it can be a little chaotic at times. Setting a timer on my phone to remind me I have to drink my shake was really helpful. And something that I learned throughout this surgery, the reason for your pre-op is to shrink the size of your liver. So let's say this fist is my stomach and this is my liver, this hand. Essentially, with my pre-op stage, it's supposed to shrink the size of my liver to make it easier for the surgeons to get to my stomach, because essentially they want to minimize any excessive bleeding, any excessive poking and tugging that they do not have to do. So from my experience, I lost 7 pounds on my pre-op diet that I'm so happy. I lost 7 pounds during my pre-op diet. Amazing. So essentially with that, because I was doing those shakes, it shrunk the size of my liver to where my surgeon was able to get to my stomach more effectively, versus then having to do tugging on my liver to then get to my stomach, if that makes any sense. So I'm so happy with that. Other people really talked about their experience. So now seeing everything come to fruition, I can't control myself. I'm just so happy with my decision. I'm so happy with how I'm feeling, and just, this was kind of like the most major decision I've made for myself. So to see all the results coming and how it's going, I'm in a bliss. I'm in such a peaceful state that I'm just like, can nobody tilt my crown. That wraps up for today's video, guys. But you guys know, before I go, I gotta give a shout out. A shout out. A shout out. We going to the comments, ayy. We going to the comments, ayy. We going to the comments, ayy. We going to the comments. Boom. Okay. Shout out goes to FunHunter. Shout out to you, sis. Thank you for the constant love and support. And if you would like a shout out in one of my future videos, comment down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Bad bitch, cause you a bad bitch. Oh, cause you a bad bitch. And